You wrote an article, Civil Rights Act, Fact or Legend. And I speak to the issue of marriage a great deal, as we all are doing right now in the Christian community, especially in light of the hijacking of the civil rights movement. Here are just a couple of statements that have been made. I'm going to play for you Matt Lauer, and I'm going to begin with that. Matt Lauer, cut number 6, I believe. Here is Matt Lauer talking about Michael Sam being drafted in the NFL. Roll it.
The big picture here in terms of the NFL, is this a sea change or is this a one-off? Is this the league moving to the right side of history, which, by the way, they really can't do unless more players come forward?
That's one part. And then there is the civil rights part, and Michael Sam being openly claiming homosexuality and kissing his boyfriend on draft day when he got drafted, the day that he got drafted. He wasn't a first-round pick. And here is reaction from that after a CNN commentator was asked, why so much focus on the kiss? Why do we have to deal with that? Why has that become a focus? Roll it.
I don't think it's all about the kiss. I'm still looking at Michael Sam, the football player. There are a few people, absolutely, who were bothered by the kiss. But we're focusing in on those few people as opposed to the tens of millions who didn't think anything of it or who thought it was a good moment. My point is that we can choose to look at all the people who denounce Michael Sam, denounce the kiss, or we can look at the heroes who have worked tirelessly throughout the decades, being brave enough to come out, and here is this moment, and we need to look at it and encapsulate it in its entirety. Yes, some of the objection is part of the storyline, but we didn't celebrate the KKK during the March on Washington. We focus in on the achievement of the March on Washington, and I think we should be embracing this moment as well in the same manner.
That's Mr. Granderson from ESPN commenting on the issue. Tell me, your response to the conflating and even the hijacking, those are my words, of the civil rights movement as it pertains to the homosexual agenda.
Well, it's very, very, thanks for having me, by the way. It is very concerning.
Yes,
last night, I was on, maybe some of our listeners heard me or saw me on CNN Crossfire with Newt Gingrich, Van Jones, and a powerful, though progressive, former NFL football player. And it was interesting how we went back and forth, and there has been this hijacking of civil rights. Van Jones on the show emphasized how you could get fired for being gay in, I believe he said it was 28 or 29 states. He had no actual evidence of this possibility and the reality of prejudice against gays. In fact, what we're seeing with this NFL draft situation with Michael Sam is that folk are celebrating and really having, I think, almost an undue emphasis on being gay. So, meaning it's great, it's a first, it's a powerful thing, but the old civil rights movement really had to deal with fair housing, had to do with the opportunity for people to get good jobs. It had the issue of, was there going to be equal justice under the law for blacks versus whites? Would there be educational opportunities for people of color? And so those four things were key. Also, there is an issue of health care, not the specifics of our health care today, but more the issue of if you're black and you're dying on the street, could they save your life by taking you to what was a segregated hospital or not? So if you look at those five things, these were the essence of the kinds of rights that were promoted in the whole civil rights movement. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 dealt with equal accommodations, meaning that is it okay for you to say black only, white only, in terms of bathrooms, seats on the bus, opportunities at the lunch counter, etc., and then the right to vote, and then opportunities to get jobs, were the successive legislations. Now, we know that gays in America right now, as a signpost of American journey toward freedom, they can live anywhere they want to live. They have better than average incomes, so there's not a job problem. They have equal opportunities in terms of justice, for sure. Nobody can get away with discrimination in the court system. They have equal opportunities in education, and people will treat them in any hospital they go to. So it really is an oxymoron saying that we're for gay rights. It is a redefinition of marriage that has become the milestone and the symbol for radical gay activists of their equality. And that right has not been derived from the Bible. That right does not come from the Constitution. That right is being used right now to try to give superior rights to some, and then it is starting to impinge on our right to preach the gospel, to share our beliefs about traditional families. Just ask the people at Chick-fil-A. So I don't want to go on, but I've given you just an overview of how wrong-headed the discussion is, and that we're really looking at folks who want to be accepted, who are dealing with years of personal pain, and it's being played out in the public square and forced upon the rest of the culture.
As it is being forced, and as you've talked about the misappropriation of the civil rights movement, I talk a lot about people misusing the civil rights movement and almost undermining what the foundation of it was, which was equality under law. I can't say it any better than you did in your article. I've posted it up on the Facebook. Hope that was okay, but a link to it.
Thank you.
And it was just something that I read it, and it took me back because I thought to myself, wow, you've encapsulated it, you've nailed it. But what gets me is I spend a lot of time, and I don't like spending the time, quite frankly, about racism, okay?
Yeah.
And I've been blessed enough in my life, people of color, not that I've recognized them that way, but have had a tremendous impact on my life and are close as family could be. And so I sit back and it frustrates me because it's a smear, it's a slime. And my question is, as we talk about these things and understand them, and we have an event like Donald Sterling, I mean, the guy is a nut bar. And we rightfully rejected him. Okay, my words, nut bar. Okay, but bottom line, disgusting. But the fact is, that showed, I think, demonstrated that America, we're not in a Jim Crow South as the media has characterized it at one time, and you certainly educate us on the realities of that, which I would like to hear more of. But bottom line, for you? Do you disagree with my assessment in the sense that racism in America really not the issue that we hear it is from the left?
I think that it, A, is still a problem, but B, the left's answer is tokenism. The left's answer is a condescension that says throw them a crumb because the poor people have been held back. But in terms of really bringing any empowerment to the people that they say they're trying to defend, it doesn't happen. So what I mean by that is that I believe the remaining frontier in the race struggle in America, I believe, is generational poverty and generational lack of access to better schools and opportunity for education, and keeping people away from voucher systems, charter schools, opportunity to choose the best school in an urban area, for example, that is much more a reinforcement of the old kind of Jim Crow separation than other things where we're trying to, give various kinds of quotas and do other things. If kids just got a chance to go to the best school within a bus ride away by choosing a voucher and freedom of education, if kids could go in Washington to the same school that President Obama's kids go to, it would change America in a generation. So I agree there's an overemphasis on these things. And at the end of the day, I like to say this, Black America and Hispanic America to a lesser degree are in an adulterous relationship with the Democratic Party and progressives who promise them the moon, but they're likened to somebody who comes at your door at midnight, knocks on your door. They're in an adulterous relationship with you. They don't respect you. They want what they can get, when they can get, and how they can get it. And once they've gotten what they want, usually they show up at our churches the Sunday before the Tuesday. They don't take you out to dinner. They don't give you flowers. They don't give you romance. You really aren't going to be paid attention to, but you're going to get lip service. And I think freedom is what America offers people. And freedom is what ghetto dwellers need, just like suburbanites. And America is a great place of opportunity. We just need to make sure that people of color understand their rights and are empowered to go get a piece of the American pie.
Is it more based than not a racism problem per se, but a economic problem on how to grant people liberty or give access to the liberty they deserve, as you pointed out, through education, vouchers, charter schools, etc.?
Hey, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it really is an education problem, an opportunity problem passing on. You don't have the generational passing on of knowledge. And there's a brainwashing and all the entitlements that are promised. And don't get me wrong, some people do need public assistance for a short time. But if you're living 3-4 generations, like I could take you to a place 20 minutes drive from here in D.C., you're living 3-4 generations into welfare dependence. You're living beneath the privilege of America. And we know it's not just a black problem. It's not just a Native American problem, and I'm part Native American as well. But the reality is this. I think you hit it. We got to educate people.
Yes.
We got to empower people to seize the American dream and to take their rightful place of contribution.
Yes.
And when you make the right contribution, you'll get the right reward.
Bishop Harry Jackson, the Harry Jackson Show, daily, heard daily. You can hear him daily. American Family Radio, Urban Family Communication Stream, 7 a.m., Monday through Friday. Check it out. And Bishop Jackson, I want to get you on within the next week, because I've got to ask you the question I still have is, why aren't we praying together? That's the key. And that's, we still have the division within our church, and I'd love to have the opportunity to talk to you about that and learn more.
Let's make it happen.
All right, will do. Thank you. Great article. Great time. Great to be with you, my friend. Thank you. Take care. Crane Durham's nothing